Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of The Yellow Admiral by Patrick O'Brien, narrated by Patrick Tull. This book is copyrighted 1996 by Patrick O'Brien. This recording is copyrighted 1996 by Recorded Books. In this, the 18th novel in the Aubrey Maturin series, life ashore may once again be the undoing of Jack Aubrey. Worst of all, in the spring of 1814, peace breaks out, feeding Jack's private fear about his career, the prospect of being yellowed, or nominally promoted to the rank of admiral, without any squadron to command. And now, The Yellow Admiral.
Chapter 1. Sir Joseph Blaine, a heavy, yellow-faced man in a suit of grey clothes and a flannel waistcoat, walked down St. James's Street, across the park, and so to the Admiralty, which he entered from behind, opening the private door with a key and making his way to the large, shabby room in which he had his official being. He looked over the papers on his desk, nodded, and touched the bell. "If Mr. Needham is in the way, pray show him up," he said to the answering clerk. He half rose as Needham appeared and waved him to a comfortable chair on the other side of the desk. "Having finished with poor Delaney," he said, "we now come to another gentleman of whom we have no news. Stephen Maturin, Dr. Stephen Maturin, perhaps our most valuable adviser on Spanish affairs." "I don't think I've heard his name." "I don't suppose you have. Yet you and your people have quite certainly found his cipher at the foot of many a cogent report. When he is going up and down in the world on our behalf, as he so often does," Sir Joseph stifled an "or did," and carried on, "he almost invariably sails with Captain Aubrey, whose name is no doubt familiar." "Oh, certainly," said Needham, who wished to make a good impression on this formidable figure, but whose talents didn't really lie in that direction. "The gentleman who was so unfortunate at the Guildhall trial." This reference to Captain Aubrey's stand in the pillory didn't seem to be well received, and to remedy the situation, Needham added a knowing, "Son to the notorious General Aubrey." "If you wish," said Sir Joseph coldly. "Yet he might also be described as the officer who, commanding a 14-gun brig, took a 32-gun Spanish xebec frigate and carried her into Mahon in the year 1, who cut out the French frigate Diane in a boat attack on the heavily guarded port of Saint-Martin, and who, most recently, returning with his squadron from a most active cruise against slavery in the Gulf of Guinea, utterly frustrated the French descent on the south of Ireland, driving a line of battleship on the rocks, to say nothing of—" "Yes, Mr. Carling," this to a secretary. "The pardons, sir. Engrossed at last," said Carling, laying them on Sir Joseph's desk. "Those you asked for particularly are on top." He made his usual ghost-like exit. Sir Joseph glanced at their effective date, well before Maturin's departure for Spain, nodded, and went on, "To revert to Dr. Maturin, for whom we here are particularly concerned, and on behalf of whom we should value any assistance your people can give us, one of these," holding up a parchment, "refers to him. You probably know more about the late Duke of Habaksthal than I do, the kind of men he privately mixed with, and the creatures he employed for some of his activities. We have a very great deal of material, and the creatures, as you so justly call them, were the immediate cause of his self-murder." "Yes." Blaine paused and said, I will not make a long story of it with
Sample complete. Ready to continue?